Oh, oh fuck.
I am also recording this one,
I don't like.
FYI. So,
Oh, Jesus. I don't like what
embarrass
this is
away.
at all. I don't like what this is at all.
Epic, now I'm ready that when you register record, I will talk less, bro, because I can hear myself on your video and I feel so
Oh,
bad.
Jesus
No, it's all good,
Christ.
man. It's all good. If I didn't want your voice in my video, I would not join a Discord channel when I was recording.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Anyway,
I have terrible rolls.
so just going through the roles, we've got a Landlubber start on red. I'm actually not sure how to play this anymore now that this unit is cheaper. I don't know if it's better like this or if it's better to start it with upgraded. Got ship on blue. Got
I think you're supposed to build it like NG instead of in a line.
No, it still fails.
Do you reckon?
5.
Not sure.
It's better hold for if you build it like it's better hold for 3.
Browder the sort of one of the very OGs of this game as he's obviously played the normal units too many times and he just wants to try something new.
No one told him this one was for Elo.
He gets away with fucking anything and everything because his tower knowledge is like supremely high. But I think he just wants to try everything. And like he's done so much work over so many years that like just a lot of love for the man. So no issues. But it'll certainly be interesting to see how this goes. I've got Purple here in the voice chat with me, so I'll be deliberately being vague about East. Won't be specifying any of their units. But anyway, for you kiddies, ladies and gentlemen at home, if you have LOD, Komodo, Trollfighter, Turret, Aqua, and Acolyte, I would not recommend starting with a Young Witch Doctor and 2 Execs. I cannot countenance that as the optimal way to play this role. But, you know, if he makes it work, then he makes it work. There's nothing more to be said. Yeah, so we've got our happy bloody ship on level 2, which means that blue is probably like can't break forever, but that's okay. I quite like ship as a unit, honestly. I think it's really well designed. And in this new version, I haven't played it yet in the newest version, which is actually new as of yesterday, I believe. It's a little bit weaker, which is good because it was probably on the strong side before. I think it's just you know, just been toned down a little bit. I'm not sure if it's still strong or where it is in terms of its strength, but I think it's just still a really efficient tank with definitely some uses on like every level. So it's just a good unit overall. And you know, I'm a bit of a yotter myself, so I'm glad that the ship in this game is a pretty reasonable unit. I'd be a bit disappointed if it was unplayable for sure. Okay, so we've got this build for our green here. It's actually rather well played. This unit is not very easy to play early. It's quite vulnerable. But if you get to this sort of position, then the game tends to go a little more smoothly for you. I like this as well. This is
Hey man, can you take a look at what blue sent?
oh,
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Obviously, he sent the militia on level 2, so he couldn't actually reach the Ferb. So he hasn't gone like full stupid mode, but I still think with 3 Blood Orcs that you want to look for King Leaks if possible. So I wouldn't split the Sens with Bowmen and let one person have a really big mid. In this case, because with 3 Blood Orcs and 3 bows, someone's going to get just bow, and everyone else is going to get Blood Orc bow. One person's going to get Blood Orc, right? So the person with just bowman is obviously going to be big mid, and probably ends up beating everything. if you don't split those sends and send either a hermit or a commander, something probably gets to mid versus the hermit or the commander, but it'll be less mid for sure. And you've got a much better chance of actually sort of breaking and getting king leaks with those blood orcs. So I would avoid the 3 bows. If you send 4 bows, it's a lot less bad, because then 3 blood orc bowmen can actually be pretty nasty for sure. Especially if there's a unit like engineer that likes to target the bowman and then be really useless.
Yeah, maybe I should try to send a bow to cover it.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. If you've got 3 of
Are
any...
you recording, Epic?
I am indeed.
Oh, okay, man.
3 of any send is always worse than 4 of any send for sure. What do you think of are you in observing rum?
No, I'm not observing. I just made bread.
Okay, no worries. This is really interesting from Red actually. I just want to keep an eye on his lane because at this point it's learning for me as well. In general, I don't like this undead privateer very much. I think the privateer, the alive pirate with heavy armor and the pistol, is quite a bit better at this point. It's interesting. With the little cost reduction to the landlubbers, it obviously got a small buff as well. I just want to sort of see how it plays out from here. Ship doing ship things and being very slow, but very can't break.
Well, I'm definitely gonna league 5 since I have all heavy armor, I think. But when I'm 1 gold short on that, thinking about getting Sky Dragon, which will easily let me hold 5. But then it's very TK.
It's your decision, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Upgrading to Revenants for level 5 on red, I don't like that. I definitely would have gone for, honestly, if you're willing to spend 160, I think just blow the 180 and get a Komodo in front. It's good for 8. Got the Revenants for 9. It's better for 6. Otherwise, just grab an Undead Pirate. This is, like, pretty overbuild for 5, but still really bad on 6. So I think he has actually quite a reasonable chance to leak 6, even with 680 value. And if you can set your lane up in a different way, then you should try and do that. So you have got Mr. Sky Dragon, got a buff somewhat recently, 1 shots 5, which people have been asking for God, so many years now. So I'm very happy about that. He deserves a bit of love. Kappa, were you playing Legion TD on End? Ever?
I mean, I did, but not a lot.
Alright, let me tell you one little story. Browder released a patch, and that patch, Sky Dragon got a new ability where he did extra damage to sends. That ability ended up being either misimplemented or bugged in some manner, and it did extra damage to every single unit. So the Sky Dragon became from the worst unit in the game to incredibly broken, like 700 value free hold 7, 1000 value hold 7 versus like any like medium send. Like
That sounds awesome.
giga broken on every level. Man, it was the most fun I've ever had playing this game. It was
How long
just
did it
the
last?
biggest coin flip. Oh, this was like a month of this.
Oh,
It was
nice.
great, man. I had so much fun. But no, for real, if you saw Exat, you played Sky Dragon, and that was what you played. And you just played Sky Dragon, you only needed Sky Dragons, and you'd have like massive mid 15. Seen people mid 15 with like 3000 value of like Aqua Sky Dragon. If they had a terrible game, didn't matter. Man, it was so much fun. I truly loved that. Like, it was obviously horrendous competitively. But, you know,
Oh yeah. It
and
was fun though.
and it got old. It did get old fairly fast. But you know, you just got those like couple of games with this like stupid broken unit, and you just felt so much stronger than everyone else. Man, it was fun. Good times for sure. Alrighty. Quite like how we're ending up here. I think we're gonna grab one of these and upgrade this. I think that's most likely, which is pretty good for sure, especially considering this here. How do you go on 6? Oh, you held 6. Sky Dragon is mid. Attention everyone, Sky Dragon is mid.
Yeah, change your strategy completely.
Oh, 100%. Can't be sending on 13 now. See, you know, it promotes a discourse. People are always just like a little bit mental boom when they see that. They just don't know what to do anymore. And now they're thinking, and because Kappa has been working on the map, thank you very much for doing that, by the way. Changes have been really great, fun to play with. But of course, because Kappa is working on the map and they see the Sky Dragon, they're now thinking like, holy shit, did he like shadow buff this unit? What's going on?
No, it's still TK. I'm just have really shit rolls and I'm trying to maybe I should have just gone full suicide, but it looks like Browder might be doing that. I'm not sure what his plan is.
Yeah, I'm just joking around, but obviously that's sorry, I lost my train of thought because with Green saying that I thought he might have been in the voice and that I'd just leaked like a whole bunch of information. He's not, so it's all good. Yeah. Anyway, starting from 0, I completely lost where I was in my brain there. Man, this Trident hold, I'm really like not a fan of it. You're gonna see it mid here, so it's not leaking anything. It just like doesn't look good versus send. It's like 2 Tridents mid against no send. Yeah, I don't like it, man. I really don't. I feel like it mixes better than Blaster though. It plays better early, and it has more options and it mixes better than Blaster, but it's even worse than Blaster on 7 if you just get 3 of them, I think. I think just like pure Trident holder is not the way to play it at all. But I have seen things like Trident PD, which appeared in a video I actually recorded earlier this evening. That's actually like really solid. Obviously synergizes very well with the AoE from the Pure Darkness. So I like the unit for sure. I just think its best usage isn't just like as a 7 holder. Like another, oh, I got a tier 5, I'm gonna get 3 upgraded tier 5s to level 7. Which you can do with like probably like 80% of the tier 5s. And just kind of do it, shut your eyes and do it, and it sort of works out. Not Kappa's tier 5. Don't get 3 Gravekeepers for 7. Don't do that. You know, it's actually interesting. Apparition leaks level 1 alone by itself. 250 value leak to no send.
I think I'm gonna reroll again because this is just ridiculous.
Understandable decision for sure.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm a big fan of any of your units. I like Warlock, but
Warlock, yeah, Warlock's good, but can't really just play that. Oh, I have Bear.
Yeah, got a little something.
Bear Captain. Yep. Wonder. Yeah, I'll be okay.
So Reds end up on 1150 value with 5 of these, which even though it looks pretty bloody good going into level 8, you gotta remember he was on the low push side for level 7, and got some feed on 6, kinda low push for 7, and obviously doesn't hold anything. So yeah, I'm still not super sold on this unit, the Undead Pirate. I feel like if you play with the Alive Pirate, I think it's just lets you push more. That's sort of where this unit feels a little bit weak. Like, feels like you have to overbuild a little too much for 5, and then you feel a little bit on the weak side for level 8. Just comparing it to similar sort of YOLOs, say like Veteran. Obviously it has the advantage that over veteran. Veteran is like absolutely just horrendous on 1 and 2. It's so weak against Sens there. But yeah. So I'm not sold on this unit. It just definitely needs like more testing, more experimentation for sure. But it's interesting, and I'm certain there's a way to make it work. But I just haven't found a way, or I haven't seen anyone else that's sort of found a way to just like find a standard build for them that'll just be very consistent. Like I've played them and been mid 10 and 15, but that was overbuilding with a helicopter for level 5, and then only going, like I only used 2 privateers into helicopter 5, and then mixing other units, so I think it wouldn't be fair to call them the cornerstone of the build by any stretch. They're a cool unit for sure, but yeah. Alrighty. So, just been DM something from Rummy in Discord, and it's doing my head in trying to look at it. I'll look at that later. Should get out of the habit of bloody tabbing in to look at things in Discord anyway while I'm doing one of these. Definitely a little on the slack side for sure. Alrighty, looks like Browdy's aiming for LOD 9, probably looking for a Hades 10 then. It's a whole hell of a lot of lumber on you guys, for sure. Browder in particular, but you got a little bank there.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that they look super great to hold 10 with, I don't think, because it was Yig and Trident. That's all I really remember. And Tot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it'll be a good send.
Yeah. So a couple of things now talking about, go back to East. Obviously I can't mention anything specifically, but for green this unit should definitely be in front of these units here. So you can see, just having a look at the range here, and then the range here, it's just going to stay behind and do nothing. It's super useless like this. It's actually really bad to place it behind like this. Looks all good for this guy here. I really like this unit with this unit here. For Mr. Orange, I would stay away from these when I've got this unit in my role. When unless my team's like very good on 10, to the point where I'm just like, yeah, sweet, I'm not interested in worrying about 10. Otherwise, I think it just really affects you negatively on such an important level. But
video's amazing.
what's that, pardon?
Your new video is amazing.
Which one is it? I've forgotten.
The latest one.
Yeah, what's it called, man? What did I call
Flawless introduction.
it? Man, Moa really made a mess of my intro there. No, I don't really remember what exactly was said there, because we did like 3 games in one night. So they just came like one after the other. But no, it's good for sure. Got a bunch of it out of the way really quick. Righty. So who do you reckon I should watch on your team for level 10? I'm thinking blue for sure.
Yeah. The ships and the harpoon's always a little interesting with the targeted and stuff. It's not super consistent. I wonder if Browder will hold with just that one Hades and this back line.
Yeah, but man, it's like a 4-second stun on the bosses sometimes. It can be like so crazy.
Oh yeah. Like during the harpoon, it's basically stun.
Yeah. Is it actually a stun? So like the turtles will still attack because they're ranged, right? It's just the Velens might not have anything in range for a bit? Or are they actually fully stunned?
Yeah, well, it's attack speed. Look,
Okay.
see how slow he tries to attack there?
Yeah, right. Yeah, as you can see, it just drags the boss to the backline and then just immediately like mauls it. Such a cool ability, man. Like, I've played this game for like quite a while now, right? And it's just like I never would have thought there were like there'd be abilities like this. I'd have thought of, you know, just all, be much more about the towers and then like the stats and synergies, what has AoE, what has single target, this sort of thing. Then you get abilities like this that just like shake everything around. It's super interesting. Of course, when you have new and interesting abilities that shake everything up, I imagine they can be a nightmare to balance though.
I actually came up with the harpoon ability, but I suck at working on the map. So Browder coded it, and it
Yeah, right.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I think it's a cool idea. It does
oh, for
not
sure.
work. How I intended the unit to work was that you'd get one harpoon in the back, and it would pull like ascend or something, and that's all you'd want. And
Yeah,
then
right.
it was just ended up being really good, and people were just spamming them, and I was like, all right. But yeah, it's nerfed a little bit in the latest patch, but not a lot. It's still a good unit for sure.
Yeah, it definitely just needed like a little tone down though. Or at least in my opinion, I thought it was just like a bit too much of a catch-all. Because
Oh, especially in the first version.
yeah, because at the end of the day, like,
Good.
yeah, when it still had the when the ads at spawn still
Raw.
had the ability,
Yeah.
then yeah, that was just crazy, man. Because it's like the niche it has, like it's kind of low DPS but high effective HP, high effective like tanking, and then like the harpoon kind of gives it a lot more relevance into the mid to late game. But like when the spawns like all debuffed armor and did AoE, and the AoE synergized like super well with this because it just misses out on one shots on like level 6, and the small version just misses out on one shots on level 4. Like is so strong. Anyway, it's yeah, it's really cool for sure. I really like the unit. I think it's in like a much better place. Even just like that little nerf just makes it feel like it isn't like when Dark Priest was super strong. It's like you count the ships and then whoever has more wins. It's definitely not like that anymore. But
Dark Priest. Yeah, that was a learning experience for me.
oh, for sure, it was worth a change though, and it's in a much better spot than it was before now. As well. So like there was a light at the end of the tunnel for sure. It's just the tunnel had a bit of a curve in it, I think.
I would say is that one thing is that it's hard to get people to test, and like
Yeah.
it's hard to fully test stuff when you're isolated in your debug mode.
Oh, for
And
sure.
then when you finally you think it's good, and then like you release it, and then people are like, "How did this get out?" And it's like, "Oh man, well." Oh, well.
Oh, I was never like, how did this get out? It made sense to me for sure because it was still like difficult early and but yeah, when it was chaos, it was like the reason Hades I think isn't overpowered. Like Hades is really strong for sure, but I think the reason Hades isn't overpowered is because the damage is relatively low because it's a catch-all unit, right? Hades is good on every single wave except like maybe
Yeah.
12 where it's slightly on the weak side, but like it's good on basically every wave. But because it doesn't actually do damage, massing Hades is just not very effective at actually like holding sends. If you have stupid amounts of value, it works for sure. You know, if you just close your eyes and build Hades until the game ends, you probably won't be doing especially well. But with Dark Priest for the Chaos, like all you needed was like some amount of frontline, and then it's just build a bunch of Dark Priests, and you could be pretty confident that you're strong on like every single level.
Hold everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
really
no.
like Blue's build though. The Abnos in the back of this too are
Yeah,
just
yeah, it works really nicely. Anything you build behind the ships like this on level 10, they'll aggro the first unit the ship drags, which is normally going to be a boss. On that note, I know I've mentioned before, and you guys have probably seen it. People build a tier 1 blocker at the front of the lane to muck up the boss's spawn a little bit. You actually don't want to do that with ship. You want the first harpoon to be on a boss. So make sure you don't build those blockers at the top of the lane. Because, you know, it's a bit sad when, like, all 3 harpoons hit a furbolg. For sure, it's not what you want, so you want to make sure you're not blocking the bosses deliberately. You want them to walk through unobstructed. harpoon the first one and then kill it, and that's why ship's a strong level 10. Because it almost feels like a Wolverine getting an early crit. So you just get to kill one boss super early. At least that's sort of my take on why ship's a good 10. Obviously that, and just they provide frontline while also providing some DPS. It's like almost a mini Hades in that sense, but obviously not nearly as good. So moving on from here, doesn't look like. Now we'll see. We'll see about the leaks. It'll be interesting to see if this game ends up as a sort of 15 or later on. Imagine you guys would be relatively happy if there were no leaks. Just judging from Mutant on blue and red.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about going 15 if there's a bunch of leaks, or just going 17.
Yeah, for
Because
sure. Makes
they
sense.
have Time Stealer, which will be good, but other than that, they don't have anything that's like super anti-15
Yeah, agreed for sure.
right now, at least what I can see. But also, they don't really have any anti-17. I wouldn't go 14 though, because they have Hellraiser and Tox, so definitely not 14. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's the thing with Talk. Like, even if the Talk is the leaker, it just gets like 3 trees of knowledge for 14 and damages all the sends. Like, that's the thing about Talk if you have 3 of them on level 14, because there aren't that many creeps. By the time the first 2 Talks will die, and they'll kill like a reasonable number of the Tusks, and because there aren't actually many Tuskars on level 14, the 3rd Talk explosion will hit gargoyles, which is actually like really, really insane. Because half health gargoyles are just so easy to kill for the king compared to full health. So like if you get the damage in on the sends, it makes a massive, massive difference. This is why units like Zeus and even Dark Priest to an extent, Turret is a big one, can actually be quite nice on 14. Not for killing the creeps, but because all of those units have tendencies to start targeting the sends in the back before the level 14 creeps are all dead. Unlike melee units and shorter ranged units. So you can actually end up sniping gargoyles, damaging them. That really, really helps your king for sure.
A player's forces are under attack.
I gotta say, I'm seeing the appeal of the undead pirates going into the mid game here for red. Just looking at like all of them dying on 13 here, I'm just thinking like that front line's just gonna get like stronger and stronger each wave in terms of effective value.
Well, that's the thing about it. If you can get like 2 undead and get them in a spot where they're useful, but they still die on every round by, round 14, it's not like they're probably gonna make the difference, but they're really strong for how much you spend on them,
Yeah, they'll get to a point where they're like super cost effective. So would you say that
Yeah.
like initially they're a little weak for their cost because they get stronger and build up? Is that fair to say?
I don't think they're terrible for the cost. I think it's more that it has medium armor, so
Yeah.
it's just not great to start with,
Yeah,
Like no matter.
makes it hard on 2 and 3.
Yeah, and like Privateer has heavy armor and it's supposed to live to get the bonus. It's just one of those things where I almost think the medium armor helps it though, because it needs to die. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense to try to give it a
Yeah,
huge tanking at the beginning either. So I don't know. It's definitely an idea, and like I don't know. Most people are playing around with the Privateer more than the undead one right now, I think.
yeah. I think that's mostly because the pistol's cool, and it's the first
Yeah.
ability of that type we've sort of seen. One thing I played around quite a bit with was like Privateer, like one Privateer, and then like into undead Privateers, and try and like get the alive pirate to live and the dead pirates to die. It was like kind of interesting. This was before the buff though, and I didn't really find a way that made them feel like they were a unit that I wouldn't reroll. I think it's fair to say. Like, they're certainly
Yeah.
playable, but I haven't actually tried them since they got a little cost reduction, which I think is definitely like what felt worst about them, that they just felt like a little too expensive to play early game. But obviously, with the stat stacking mechanic, if you don't use them in the early game, then there's sort of no point.
Yeah.
Like, you may as well not upgrade them. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun trying to sort of find a placement where it would work. And then when the pistol came in, like, that placement obviously had to like get completely revamped. Really, really cool. But yeah, didn't quite find anything personally that made me think like, okay, I definitely want to keep this unit. If I have it. It was like, yeah, it's in the sort of drop and roll category for me. Which is not bad at all. I mean, if you're actually dropping it, that means the unit's playable, which is good. I think like you want realistically like every unit to be playable.
Yeah, I think the main thing about it is that you can't really solo it.
Yeah.
It basically rips on 5 no matter what. So after round 3, you kind of have to, or you
I
can hold
don't
4 with
think
it,
it's
but
that
you
bad
gotta.
on 5 if you go into Undead Pirates.
The thing is, you gotta mix.
Yeah.
Unlove is like actually quite a good stuff, but you gotta mix it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mixed it with mouse. It's insane.
All right, they sent, we did not. So we'll see. He got an infernal. I got a pretty weak son. I didn't even get a. Oh no, I got a behemoth. We'll see.
Yeah. I've
Sad that blue got the infernal for sure.
Yeah, was he your best Annie 15 or just generally good value? Oh, I dragged the infernal into the backline so it burns everything.
Yeah.
That's always like, that's my nightmare whenever I see like ship on 15. I remember one game I had specters.
We did pretty well.
Yeah. How many heals do you guys have?
3.
Should be easy live
Yeah.
with this split on legs. But no man, the like nightmare for me is like I had Spectre backline for 15 and I rerolled into ship and I was just like, nah, I can't do it. Like I can't watch an infernal get dragged into like all the specters and just burn everything in 2 seconds. That's just a nightmare, I reckon.
That's why I always build the ship front. Like you would.
Yeah, I think it's good in the back sometimes though, for sure. If you want to drag like Sens or bigger units into your backline just to like try and mob them. Yeah, it's the Sky Dragon difference, maybe. I think we need to kill
I'm the
this.
one who changed that, but
Yeah.
the only thing I changed is that it 1 hits 5, so it's.
Yeah, it needed that, man. Like, if its
Well,
niche is air and it's not useful on the first air level, like, why are you here?
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a RNG 1 hit if you get a Ferb with it. But
That's
like,
fine, though.
I haven't gotten it yet, but I'd like to do an NG egg sack roll, and you can hold 5 if you need to at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that might be cool. For sure. The thing I really like about NG Egg Sack is if I get like a Dragonhawk with it, because NG Dragonhawk is really terrible because you need like 760 value minimum to hold 5, to hold 4 and then hold 5. But with Egg Sack you can get away with like 390 engineer. Like things like that. You can get away with like super low value engineers and then actually make the Dragonhawk work at like reasonable push.
Have you seen Hellraiser egg sack?
Yeah, Rummy is really good with
Rum
that build.
showed me. Yeah, so good.
It's such a cool build. I'm pretty terrible with it. I know the placement, but since having the placement memorized, I haven't had the roll.
I don't even have the placement memorized, even if I got it, but that would be a cool video.
Yeah, for
Show
sure.
that off.
Yeah, I think I'll be Actually, I was recording a game where Rum had it, but then he had to bloody go and disconnect on level 8, so bit of a shame. It was a good game.
You're a TK.
Yeah, it was a good game for me as well. No, I had Disciple with the new tier 1. Man, that's such a good combo.
Yeah, I remember this game and you were mad because that was a good video to be.
Yeah, I was like 7-6 on the start of 8. I was leaking
Yeah.
8, but I was gonna almost hold 9, I think.
You had what? Disciple? No? What did you play? this
Yeah,
game?
Disciple, and I had the tier
Disciple.
1 Parrot. It's such a nice
Yeah.
mix with Disciple.
Yeah.
So Kappa 2 wins in a row.
It looks like it.
Must feel nice.
Bro, I'm in bottom now, man. You left me alone.
Don't worry, I'm still well on the bottom.
Stay with me, man. I just came back for you.
I think, am I still the lowest player in the league right now? Oh, thank God, I'm the third worst.
Yes!
Yes.
Calls for a celebration.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, man. I don't see any way that they survive here, personally. Well, I mean, we'll see, but
A player's
just
I
looking at
hope not.
just
Any
looking at
game
what
that
they have, I
goes-
don't see it.
Any game that goes past 20 is always a little bit annoying.
Easy.
Yeah, man. I don't really have in my head like when is like, you know, the playbook for 20 plus, right? If it goes after 21, it's like, so when do we send? Is this like 28, 30?
Oh, lots of people do 28, but they underestimate it.
Yeah, I've seen like 29 work really well as well.
Yeah, 29 is the same as well.
It's like, by that point, it's like if you have good units for 29, then you just like absolutely annihilate it. If you don't, you can leak to a no send with like really high value. It's kind of an interesting level in that sense. I feel like it's one of the only levels, like after 10, that's at all like that. In the sense, like, it's more about the units like you have and the synergies you have,
Oh, no,
rather than
I'd
just
say it's
value.
like 27 is like that.
27 as well, do you reckon? Okay.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter if you have high value, you need normal damage.
Yeah.
'Cause if you send...
Normal damage, or you can do something like mass tox. I remember a game I held 27, I think I had like 13 tox. That was like, you know, last reroll. Yeah, right.
You have to have it.
Okay.
Because it's like 14 just on steroids.
Yeah. I really like 30 actually, I think it's such a cool level. And how like siege damage just doesn't cut it, you need debuffs.
Which one? 13 or 13?
30, the big magnetors.
Big one, yeah.
Anyway,
I
look
did it,
good.
boys. Developer power.
100%. Just shadow buffed all your rolls that game. That's the way to do it.
They need one more for Lil.
Anyway, guys, cheers very much for joining me. Appreciate it. Especially yourself, Kappa. Thank you very much for the work on the map, and it was really interesting to chat with you and hear some of those insights. So I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Best of luck in your games going forward, man.
Yeah, maybe I can get out of the bottom soon.
soon, man. We'll make it happen. All right. Cheers, everyone, for watching. Catch you next time.